Hi, I want to talk about a very common customer concern that we get here at IR, and the question that we get from customers usually goes along the lines of why is my dry top leaking or why am I wet inside my dry top? And to be honest, that's a very tricky question for us to answer on the customer service side, but I'm going to go ahead and take a few minutes here and explain some common reasons why you might getting water in the top, some of which may be just due to physics and the fact that you're on a river paddling, and others may be actually due to a faulty garment. And I'm going to show you how to identify those problems as well. First, let's cover some of the basic reasons why you could be getting water in the garment that are not related to a garment failure. The first thing you have to consider is that while latex is good, it's not perfect. Particularly with things like latex wrists, a latex wrist gasket makes a good seal, but oftentimes you'll get bridging along the tendons of your wrist right here, and water can seep up that way. Similarly with your neck, if your neck does have contours to it, and the gasket will bridge across that. If you trim your neck down too much, a lot of times people are really concerned about their neck being uncomfortable, and they'll start trimming down the neck and make it so big that it's no longer effective. That's another reason why you might get water inside your jacket. The other common way for water to enter a jacket is via the boat. If you have water coming through your skirt or underneath the rim or in through leaky screws, and you have water floating in your boat and you roll over or you're doing tricks in a play hole, water splashing up, and of course the entire bottom half of the garment is open to the bottom of the boat. One of the things we do with our tunnels is that we use a stretchy, waterproof, breathable fabric on our inner tunnels. And the reason for this is that these inner tunnels, they need to be able to go over your head, over your shoulders, so they need to stretch out a little bit. But we like these because then they stretch back in again and they fit against your body without a bunch of wrinkles. Fabric tunnels do have benefits, but one of the downsides of a fabric inner tunnel is that in order to be big enough to stretch over your shoulders, you have to cinch them down and you get wrinkles of fabric where you cinch them down. And then of course water may come up underneath your outer tunnel and then down those channels into your boat. But in any case, with this breathable fabric here, it reduces the amount of sweat that can form around your torso. A lot of times people will say, I'm wet right here, and they think that this is leaking. And what we point out is, first of all, it is waterproof, and you can hold a cup of water up against it and test it to see for yourself. But if you're wet right here, it's sweat. It really, what's happening is you have a neoprene spray skirt over top, it's creating a lot of heat, and you do sweat there. So, in most cases, the inner tunnel is not to blame for that, or you're getting water coming up from the bottom of the boat that's going up against the inner tunnel. And while this is waterproof, it's not a completely dry seal around your torso, of course. The other reason why you may be getting wet inside your dry top, and this is especially true of dry suits, is you could be sweating. In terms of waterproof, breathable garment design, really, when you study classic breathable garment construction, the primary concerns of a breathable garment is venting. How big is the neck open? How's the hood going to work with the neck open? Do you put pit zips in it? If you do what they call a T-zip or a 3/4 zip, is it going to open wide enough for it to vent? These are the issues these are the factors that create a garment, make a garment very breathable. When you get down to the final last icing on the cake, it's the breathability of the fabric. That helps, but it's not the deal breaker. If you take a dry top or a dry suit, it's completely sealed at the neck and the wrists, and if it's a dry suit, completely sealed through the entire torso. While the fabric is letting some moisture get out, there's no way it's letting all of the moisture get out, especially if you're active or you're hiking your boat up and out of a river and down into a river or paddling hard. You're going to sweat inside these things. There's no way the fabric can get all that sweat out. So that could be another reason why you're getting moisture inside your dry top or dry suit. Beyond that, you could have some legitimate concerns about your garment leaking. One of the things you can do to inspect your garment to check for a problem is to check for what we call delamination on the inside. Our dry tops, and most dry tops and dry suits, are made with some variation of what we call a 3-layer fabric. And the 3-layer consists of an outer shell fabric, like what you have right here, then a membrane or a laminate or a coating of some sort. That's the waterproof, breathable aspect of the garment. And then you have a tricot mesh on the inside. The Trico mesh basically exists to protect that laminate or coating because oftentimes they're very delicate. Now, if you see the Trico mesh peeling away or coming off of the coating or laminate, that doesn't mean that the garment is necessarily leaking there, but it's a sign there could be a problem for sure. And in those cases, if you're getting water inside the garment and you're seeing the delamination there, you're going to want to contact us and let us know what's going on and see if we can't get it back here to the factory for testing. One test you can do for yourself before you send a garment back in is a lot of times people say, my arms are wet, I think the sleeves are leaking in the garment. One thing you can do yourself to test this is simply tie off the sleeve with a rubber band or a piece of string, and then very gingerly fill the sleeve with water. And you don't want to squeeze the sleeve like a bagpipe when you do this, but if you squeeze this or fill the sleeve with water and take a look around, the sleeve should be completely dry. If you see water streaming out or big damp spots appearing, of course you're going to have a problem, and once again you're going to want to contact us immediately about that and see if we can't get it back into the IR to check. But those are some very, very common reasons why you have water inside a Drytop or even a dry suit. And of course, if you have any questions about an IR product, feel free to give us a call. So let's review the common reasons why you would be getting wet inside your Drytop. First, let's go over the reasons that would not be due to a product failure. Water coming through the wrist gaskets, water coming in from inside the boat, sweat inside the garment, or condensation inside the garment, the humidity condensing inside of the cold garment. On the other hand, you could actually be having garment failure, and one simple thing you can do is to look inside your garment, particularly in the armpit areas where it's a very high wear area, and see if you can see that Trico peeling off of the laminate. If you see that, you might have a problem. The other thing you can do at home to test for a leaking sleeve, another very common leaking place, is to turn the garment inside out, tie off the wrist gasket, and very carefully fill the sleeve with water, with a pitcher of water, and see if you can see water, of course, pouring out or damp spots appearing on the garment. If any of those things occur, of course, please let us know, and we'll take care of the garment right away.